Hey everyone, Dave the Old Nerd Guy here. Today's video was supposed to be about this Exe Valkyrie G01, but apparently in the meantime there is this Valkyrie that appeared. Welcome to that. Yes, the Exe in the high, I don't know how to pronounce it, so let's call it the Exe Valkyrie. Was a blaster, pretty interesting, that I talk about in another video. I shared some information on it with Tungsten Exe, which he gave me some links to complete this research, and I was waiting for him to release his video before I release this one. But credit goes to him for sharing me all the link and allowing me to know and make my research about this blaster. Now, this Valkyrie G01 was the main blaster that I leaked originally in my video, but in the meantime there's another one very similar, almost identical, with apparently slightly different construction, because at first glance they look like the same exact blaster. Three little difference. First, the B-car barrel, which is a bearing car barrel on the Sembylon one. Then there is the optic sight on the Sembylon one again, which is another difference. And that new Sembylon Valkyrie had a return spring on the prime. I don't know what's the use of a return spring on a pump action blaster, except maybe putting more load on your prime, but there is a return spring on the Sembylon one. At first glance it looked like the only difference. Then you go a little further and you see that the construction is basically the same, with metal rod going through the plastic shell, rear mount for the spring. You can remove the spring from the rear easily. They both have integrated stock that look very close. But here and there in the picture you can notice that the Exe Valkyrie will be like a two-piece shell clamped together and then assembled with the metal rod in to make the blaster, while the Sembylon look more like a series of one piece, more like what you will have with 3D printing. Advantage, disadvantage, I don't know yet. I don't have them in my hand, but I plan on comparing both next to each other. I'm waiting on the Exe. I'm trying to secure a Sembylon one just to make sure of all the difference. But going to look a little closer to see the similarities, one tell you about the Sembylon one will tell you about the rear removing ability of the spring, while at the same time the Exe picture will show you the same ability, except that the Exe looks like you separate the body in plain metal, and with the Sembylon you just remove a little door from the rear which is hidden behind the stock button piece. To note, the screw from the stock attachment piece or stock button piece for the adjustment are at the same place on the G01. As for the metal rod, they look like they are at the exact same spot on the Sembylon and the Exe, meaning they should be very close, and I expect the Exe to have the exact same system to change the spring. No difference whatsoever, even if the picture tell me they are not exactly the same. Then another thing that came to my attention in their similarities, because if you check the feature of the blaster and the plan of them, they are almost carbon copy of each other, except if you check at the length. The length for the Exe says it's between 55 centimeters and 70 centimeters for the blaster. And the problem is with the extended stock 70 centimeter. The problem is with the Sembylon one, they basically write 70 centimeter fully extended with the B-car barrel on it. I don't know how they calculate, or if it's a miscalculation. They just wrote the dimension from the spec of the blaster. But if they are to be truly identical, I would expect more of in the 80s range for the Sembylon, in the 70s range as for length in the Exe. not the exact same length with extended stock. That doesn't make sense because of the B-car barrel. Going further, checking the plunger tube. Plunger tube system look completely identical in both except for the color of the material. They have the same screw for the priming rod at the same spot. So almost the same goes for the stock. They basically have almost the same shape metal rod except for the Sembylon. They cover it with nylon. It's bare metal with nylon over it. And on the Gia you got some kind of enamel metal with some black and white top on it. It's not ugly, it's very nice, it's simpler. I think I prefer the Gia for this thing, but even there, they are pretty much the same. To continue on that thing, remember that the Gia come all assembled and the Sembylon come as a kit. And in the instruction for the Sembylon, they recommend you use glue to fix the barrel, which is a concern because in the spec from the Gia, they precise that it's an easy barrel swap with 2 screws near the tip of the barrel, near the muzzle. You got 2 screws that hold the barrel there, and that's it. And on the other one, they say glue. I don't want my barrel to be permanent. I want to be able to change it. But there is hope for the Sembylon because looking at the picture again, the 2 screws that hold the barrel on the Gia are present on the Sembylon. Those are really looking like clone. The main difference is going to be there in the magazine and magazine release. Let's start with the Gia. The Gia uses its own magazine very similar to an angle Talon that you insert reverse inside. The only difference, I look at many pictures from many angles, this notch is non-existent in the Gia Valkyrie, meaning it will not be compatible with this magazine. And on one side this groove is narrower, like they want you to put them always in the same way. While if you go check on the Sembylon, looking at first glance at the magazine, you say to yourself, this is Talon compatible, the notches are the same place and the magazine look very much the same length, but no, it is not. For the Sembylon version, it is more like a Lizzie magazine, which is a 96% Talon magazine, which Talon magazine are not going to fit through, but the latch is at the exact same place. While for the Gia, you seem to have no latch on it, but it's a latch more like the S200, which is just a little notch there, because on the Gia you press a small button, and on the Sembylon Valkyrie you push with your finger the whole yellow square thing around the mag well, which is the mag lever, the mag release. Hopefully, again, the Gia will have this function integrated in with the little piece, with the moving yellow piece that hold the magazine if you put something else than the magazine that comes with it. But otherwise, both of them will need their own magazine if you want to use them without modification. And then to conclude, I would say both look amazing. I don't understand why they put a return spring on the Sembylon, and I don't get exactly, I know why, it's very nice, but I don't get why they paint the red for the Gia Valkyrie, because yes, the Gia Valkyrie is a painted blaster. The red is outstanding, I have to say, but it's a painted blaster. Then again, the price. They both are priced at about 50 United States dollars, about the same price. Then again, for me, it's a concern. I have a feeling in my guts that even with the 2-piece mold for the shell of the Gia, it is going to be a superior product because of this reason. If you go for the same price with the Sembylon one, I've made some research, and the B-car barrel that they put on the Sembylon one is worth about $10 to $15. If you take that $10 to $15 and you add the price of the optic which is on it, which is worth about 150 to 160 CNY, which is roughly $30, you're up to $40 to $45, and this is a $50, $60 Canadian blaster. You have 15-20 bucks left for the blaster, which let me think you're gonna have some quality issue because they ask you to glue your barrel. Maybe they save some cost because they send it to you as a kit compared to the GIA where they send it to you as a whole. Nonetheless, I'm gonna leave 2 links in the description that are buy link that can be shipped in the US and Canada mostly. One for the GIA, one for the Sembylon. They both are sold by different store, 2 competitors. It's very, very funny. I don't really have the link for Taobao right now, but you can search Taobao, you're gonna find them. Pretty much now all the shops are closed because of Chinese holiday, but when they will all open, you will be able to find it at the right price. For now, Zenduo is selling the GIA one for 110 United States dollar, which I think is still okay considering it's gonna cost you over $60 shipping that thing to you from China safely and quickly. And for the Sembylon one, it's sold by CS Noob, which I'm not sure, at 138 United States dollar for the Sembylon Valkyrie. I am really not sure. On those good words, let's all wait for the rumored ZWQ Valkyrie, which is supposed to be all CNC. That's it for this small video. In the meantime, you can always follow me on Facebook and Instagram at @thatoldnerveguy. Please leave a like and comment, subscribe for more content. Don't forget to hit that bell to notify for my latest video. This was Dave Fatag. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.